Alive 90.5. This is the Hit Mix Show. Top hits, classic dance tracks. 11:42, and we've been lucky. We've got Steve on there on very, very shortly. Steve Clisby's story. Steve's career has always been about breaking down the barriers from the 50s to today. Over the years, he's jammed with Jimmy Hendrix experience and toured alongside the very best acts in the world, such as, have a listen to this, guys, Chaka Khan, Hot Chocolate. We've also got Kool and the Gang, Santana, Frank Zappa, The Presets, Empire of the Sun, Birds of Tokyo, and, of course, Tina Turner, the late, great Tina Turner. In 1990s, he was a support act there. And with a bit of luck, I've got Steve on air. Are you there, Steve?
I'm here, man. What's going on?
Oh, man, heaps are going on. We finally got you on air. How's it going these days?
Oh, pretty good, man. We made it. We finally got together. And, yeah, everything's going really great. Got a gig coming up and, working in the studio.
Yeah, I see you're on Factory 616 this week. They're doing a couple of shows there. You've done one, and this is the second one, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we're playing there pretty regularly. Almost, I think we're going to probably make it a monthly thing, this year. And it's sort of a kind of a loose residency that we've got going. So but it's a great place, good club to come to, and, comfortable, good food and, great music.
I can't believe how many people you have, performed with along, in your life. And I just can't believe it, mate. Just looking at the bio.
I don't even like to think about it sometimes because it's so long, you tend to think, I think generally in 20-year, like bites. But my girlfriend reminds me constantly that that was 40 years ago, Steve.
Listen, before we go on a little bit, can I just ask you one really interesting question? Can you actually, before we talk a little bit about your background, tell us a little bit of the Tina Turner story, which is quite amazing to be perfectly truthful. You've just sung with some of the very best in the world.
Well, that just came about because I was asked to be lead singer in a band in Belgium. That's after my band sort of disbanded, and I was doing mostly studio work and had a studio and concentrated on production. They called to ask if I wanted to be the lead singer in this band. But the lead singer had died, actually, and they were pretty popular they were very popular, actually, in Belgium. And, a group called Blue Blot. And, so I went down to audition, and I was a bit upset about auditioning because I never really auditioned for anything because people knew what I did. And then I just figured if they don't know, why did they call if they don't know what I do, and why would I have to audition if they know what I do? So, but anyway, I went, I did it, and it was, the guitar player and myself bonded. He was from the States, and he was a great guitar player. And so I took the gig, and the first thing that we did was record an album and then go out on the road with Tina Turner. So that was pretty amazing. We played, I think, Luxembourg, Belgium, and France.
And the Jimmy and you actually gigged with Jimmy Hendrix too. Can't believe.
Yeah, well, I didn't gig with him. I jammed with him at a club in California called The Experience on Sunset Boulevard. That was about 1969. It was 69. About a year before he died, he used to come to these clubs, after he'd had a huge stadium gig or whatever, and come to the clubs late at night to jam. Something like what Prince used to do. Prince would show up, and he was famous for, the all-night jams that they did.
He was famous for a lot of things, Steve.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Hendrix used to do basically the same thing. And, he would come to the clubs afterwards and then just jam. And we happened to be playing at a club that he, was rumored to be part owner. So that's one of the reasons why I stayed. And one of the reasons why I got to jam with him was because we I had the equipment that we played with at that gig. I made an agreement with the owner that the rest of the bands that played could use our equipment. So our equipment was theirs and already. So Hendrix sort of had to play on that equipment. And I just thought, well, since my piano was on stage, I might as well go use it when he got up on stage and we started jamming. So it's pretty cool.
And then, of course, along came The Voice.
Oh,
so what was the story there?
Just after that, when
what's interesting about us two, Steve? Just one thing, you're in. I know how old you are, so I'm not going to say that on air. But I'm about the same.
Why not? Hey man, it's cool. You know what I mean? It's like you got to be proud. Look, I'm 77, dude, and it's like and as far as I went on The Voice when I was 67. That was the first time. So the first time anybody had any idea who I was on the world, nationwide, was on The Voice. And that was 2013. Yeah. And I was 67 when I went on. And then again, and 2 years ago, I went back as an all-star, and that was at 74. So it's like, I don't consider age to be, an impediment to what you have to do, energy-wise. As long as you take care of your health and you've got the energy, and I think you got to keep your dreams alive, man, no matter what. And that's my message and inspiration to.
It's all about the dreams, man. I'm 69 going into 70, and I look at your background. I say I lived and breathed all the artists you grew up with, mate. So I know exactly where you're coming from. So how did The Voice change you at all? I mean, like some people say it's bad, some people say it's good, but did it do anything positive for you rather than negatives?
Oh, well, no, a lot of positives. I mean, I thought working with the team at the time, the organization was a little bit different. It was the second season, and basically the whole crew and working in a team like that to produce a show that everybody was sort of proud of, and it was genuinely fun to do. I mean, it was a challenge, and it was a bit stressful, but it was like, it was like making a movie, man. When people make movies, they bond. Especially if all the people that are participating have good energy and they're trying to make something really quality, then that's what it was. And it's a show. It wasn't, it's not.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Talent contest, but it is a show. And so you gotta control a lot of things. Like a lot of people think, oh yes, the voice in is fake and blah, blah, blah. And how they conduct things, but that's not exactly, reality shows don't work like that. You don't just throw a bunch of people in a room and let them randomly do anything that they want and then film it. It doesn't work. You got to have some control over what's going on, and there's a structure to it. And I think within that structure, they work with it, and they did an extraordinary job. And the people that I work with, they work fantastic.
And in your case, you got
in the production.
Yeah, in your case, you got down to the semi-finals. So do you still keep in touch with any of those people? I mean, or do they?
Sure.
Or do they live afterwards?
We were all friends before, and we're still friends now. So yeah.
Now,
absolutely.
I wouldn't be able to finish this interview without mentioning you're a producer, but I've got a bigger low going out from a very beautiful lady that you've been involved with, not involved with producing her albums, right? Let's get this right, because I know, right? So Sally Street or Sally Landon sends you out a big kiss from me to you to her.
Oh man, I've known Sally for ages, and she's just one of the most generous and beautiful souls.
What a performer
that I know.
One of the best jazz singers in Australia. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she does a great job. And she used to be a student for a long time. Back, it was 2000. I was still in the house on Darling in Darling Point. So that would have been about 2003, 2002, 2003. So I've known her since then. So that's on damn near 20 years. Yeah.
And after the Voice, you got involved with the Commonwealth Bank campaign and whatever. That was pretty good for you. Did big things for you, didn't it?
That was beautiful. I mean, and one of the things about that was that also, again, had to do with the age thing. Whereas for some people it would have been a detrimental, you know, or as most people think about it, you know, it's like, oh yeah, you know, I should be retiring, or you know, that you forget about your inspiration, your dreams, and that campaign. The reason why I got that gig was because that's what it was all about. It was all about like continuing to push and not letting those kinds of things deter you from following your dreams. You know, like age. Don't let age be an issue. And that was what the CAN campaign was all about. It's like you can do anything that you want to do. You just have to. It's a matter of mental strength and perseverance and desire and dreaming and getting out there and doing it. And so, you know, to this day, I'm still trying to do that. And
it goes without saying what you said on your bio, because the big thing about interviewing people now, it's all on the bio and it's all on Google. It's not like the old days that you had to go everywhere. All you do is push the button. It tells you everything about the person you want to know. But you certainly have been breaking down the barriers over the years. It's just been amazing.
Well, I've been trying, man. And the thing is now what I'm trying to do is all my music is being repurposed on YouTube, all 9 albums. So what I'm trying to do is get people to subscribe to my YouTube channel and my newsletter. So if I'm active on all the forms of social media, but the most important thing is to get to my website, which is steveclisby.com, sign up to the newsletter. And from that newsletter,
there's some great stories.
You'll be able to get all the information. There'll be some stories that I'm telling. It's kind of a blog as well as a pointer to my YouTube channel and Instagram and Facebook. All of those platforms where you can find out and get some of the secret information that I have stored there, and also some of the stories that I have to tell from my life's musical journey. So if you sign up to the newsletter, you'll be able to you'll be able to get those things. And also I'm trying to get everybody to come out to the gig, because if you want to hear some of these stories in a musical form, then you got to make it to the Foundry on the 21st of July. It's Friday night. And doors open at 6:45, and I'm hoping that we get to see as many people there as possible. And I want you to tell all your friends, and I want all the people that are listening to this program today to tell all their friends. Sign up to that newsletter at steveclisby.com and make it down to Foundry 616 on the 21st of July.
Steve, one last question. Thanks for your time, of course. If you were sitting in a park and enjoying the sunshine, and you had 1 hour to speak to anybody alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Well, who would it be? Oh, there's a couple of people, man. Oh, geez. That's a tough question. I'd like to sit down actually with Obama.
That's all right. That's good.
And have a good conversation with him, because I've got a great respect for him, and he's also been a big influence and a surprise of something that I never thought I would see or experience. And I went to see him when he was here, and I'd love, just off the top of my head, I'd love to sit on a park bench with him in the sunshine in Hawaii, where he lives, and just have a good hour conversation. It would be great.
Thanks a lot, Steve.